Back home now, as the downpours continue, there are concerns about lightning, and lightning is one of the biggest weather-related killers in the world. It's believed around 250 people are killed annually by lightning, and the number stands at 24,000 worldwide. Let's talk now to Wits Johannesburg Lightning Research Laboratory Head, Dr. Hugh Hunt. Dr. Hunt, thank you so much for your time this evening. I mean, we grew up being told that lightning is dangerous, but are people really aware of how dangerous and deadly it is?
I think people often aren't so aware of how dangerous lightning can be. Maybe one of the most common misconceptions is that you don't actually have to be directly struck by lightning to be injured or killed by it. You can be in the vicinity of a lightning strike. And so maybe people often don't realize that just being around a lightning event can be quite dangerous.
And also, you know, you often hear how one is told, no, don't hide underneath a tree, hide your cell phone and all of that during lightning. But what is the correct way of acting here? If you find yourself, you're in a car, you're driving lightning strikes, or you're walking lightning strikes, what do you do?
Okay, so the most important thing, or the best thing would be to get inside a structure, a shelter, a substantial shelter, we would use the terminology. So not just a tent wouldn't be good shelter, for example. You'd want to get inside a proper building. A car is actually a very good place to be because it's conductive all around. It's what we would call a Faraday cage. So a car is a good place to be, but you want to be inside a proper structure or similar like that. If you can't get inside a proper structure, your best bet is you want to make yourself as small as possible, keep your legs together and crouch down on the ground, but you really don't want to be in that situation. You'd really rather want to get inside.
As we look at the weather patterns, I mean, climate change is a real concern globally. Let's look at things on the Southern African front. Could we see more lightning activity in the future?
So that is possible. We're not entirely sure at this point exactly how climate change will affect lightning activity globally or in South Africa. But we're starting to see evidence of some effects that maybe it's increasing the rate of lightning. But that may go along with other things that for example, there's some evidence to show it may increase the rate of lightning, but decrease the intensity a little bit. None of this is certain at this point. We just need more time, more data before anyone can be sure about that.
I wonder what your thoughts are on this one. I mean, there's rolling blackouts now and people are coming off the grid more and more, but just how safe are the solar panels and the wind turbines against lightning damage?
So wind turbines are definitely affected by lightning quite badly. These lovely videos you're showing here by my colleague, Dr. Karina Schumann, show the Centec Tower and the Telkom Tower getting struck by lightning. And those are nice, tall towers. So big, tall wind turbines have the same problem. They're highly susceptible to lightning. And we are slowly installing more and more in South Africa, and we will start seeing problems more and more with lightning. Solar panels then are also highly affected, especially big solar plants where you've got large square kilometers covered in solar panels. You inevitably have quite a lot of lightning strikes to the panels and just in the vicinity that affect the electronics and affect things. So it does quite a lot of damage there. The risk of your solar panel on top of your house as an individual is not really any different from the risk of your usual electronics in the house, but there is a risk there, so it could affect you.
So how then do, let's say maybe the viewers watching tonight have got some, you know, solar panels and stuff, so how do they make sure that this damage doesn't affect them?
So that's not a quick, easy answer, I'm afraid. It depends on each individual situation. But there's quite a lot of work being done by the South African lightning protection industry at the moment with the SABC to understand what the best approach to protecting solar panels are and making sure a house is protected in that way.
And, you know, Dr. Hunt, there's this one question that I always have when research is conducted and stuff, because we normally do research in order to try and uncover more details about a particular subject. But I wonder if you think, in your view, that we know all there is to know about lightning right now?
No, we certainly don't. There's plenty to still learn about lightning. There's a lot to learn about from a protection point of view, exactly why lightning would strike a certain point versus another point. We kind of understand this to some degree. We understand that taller objects are more likely to be struck, but lightning protection is all about defining a point that will get struck by lightning and then controlling that electrical current carefully. So the more we can learn about how actually a certain location or something is struck by lightning, the better we can build protection systems. But no, there's much to learn about lightning. It's certainly not all understood at all.
And I'm interested to, find out why one point would be struck by lightning. And I'm hoping that your work in the future uncovers something like that. But there's something that, we've seen in recent years, especially when people have cell phones. They'll say, make sure that you don't have your cell phone in hand when lightning strikes. So do we know why that is the case?
So that one is a bit of a myth. It's your cell phone having your cell phone on you or not is not really going to make any difference to whether you get struck by lightning or not. That's not a major.
Does hiding under a tree make a difference? We've seen some people struck by lightning hiding under a tree in open areas.
Yeah, that's not a good place to be. You don't want to be under a tree. You get injured in the most common way under a tree because the lightning strikes the tree and the electrical current flows through the ground. And because your feet are apart, some of that current might flow up your one leg and down the other. Part of it flows through your heart. So that is actually the most common way people are injured and hurt by lightning, and animals. Many people will have seen this. So one lightning strike can kill many cows or cattle or sheep. And one of the biggest problems is that distance between their feet. They get quite a lot of current flowing through them. So a tree is not a good place to be. Also, I've often seen trees actually explode from lightning, and you wouldn't want to be next to that if that happened. So standing next to a tree is not a good idea.
Fascinating work you're doing there, Dr. Hunt, and I hope one day I get to visit and see it all unfold. But thank you so much for talking to us this evening. To appreciate it. That was Wits Johannesburg Lightning Research Laboratory Head, Dr. Hugh Hunt, talking about a very important subject, staying safe where lightning is concerned. So I hope you've heard some of these safety tips there.